stay in your lane. Yeah, we get a little homie, you been getting some brain. Rapping about how you smoking weed like a chain, but I gotta be the one to throw the industry shade. Told you I've been fed up, get your bread up, you don't drop shit. Dropping so much fire, 2018, it's obnoxious. Put me on the 16, watch the numbers rise, just went from the bubble.
All right, you are now tuned in to the Dads Who Live podcast. We'll have John silence his phone for all you guys, for all your viewing pleasure. I'm your host, Tyler Gaeta. We have with me, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Jonathan Baumgartner.
Jonathan Baumgartner, my co-host here. It's another episode of the Dads Who Live podcast. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We do this shit for free. All that we ask, we try to give value to you. If we gave you any value, please give us a like, share, 5-star review. We don't want to run fucking ads. I hate listening to podcasts and every 15 minutes there's a fucking ad. I don't want to do that. So please, you tell a friend, they tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing. Share it on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, share it on Spotify, share the YouTube, share the Facebook, share the Instagram, share it all, man. Get it out there. Let people know. We really appreciate your support. You can catch us on IG, Dads Who Lift Apparel. We're on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Apparel. We have a line of badass swag and clothing for the Dads Who Live brand. Shirts, tank tops, hoodies, hats. I'm wearing some of it right now. That's on www.dadswholifapparel.com. That's our website. We also have a Facebook group of 54,000. I think it's close to 55,000 now. Like-minded dads and growing. Just dads trying to be their best selves and stay fit. If that's something that interests you, check that group out. Again, that's a group on Facebook called Dads Who Lift Official. So thanks for tuning in, guys. What's new, John?
Oh man, busy week. For work for me this year, super excited, super pumped. I'm actually in a role that I've been trying and working on creating.
Years in the making
of actually being able to get into this role. So I'm super energized and pumped about this season. We haven't had as many good quality guys, which is been a huge problem over the last 2 years. We've talked about it multiple times, just finding the right guys.
People that are actually invested and give a fuck.
Right. So we as a company, we did a culture thing from some of the coaching and stuff that you've been going and doing, and we were trying to bring it back and implement it in-house. So we never really emphasized on like core values and having a culture and what is it that we're looking for in our employees and our work base. And we started doing that, and then we started having more and more guys just kind of follow suit and adhere, not necessarily adhere, but start to show up like, hey, this is who I want to be as a man and in life and act this way, and started bringing that stuff to work. And we've weeded out all the weak links. You know this about me. I hate to fire people. I hate firing somebody or having to let someone go is a failure in my eyes, because I want to build. I mean, it's the coaching in me. It's the mentoring. I want to help everybody become better when they step into the company, not just as a worker or an employee, but in life. I mean, even outside of in your everyday life, just being a better human being. But we've helped a lot of people grow into more responsible roles, and I think that's helping in their personal life. And I have employees that reach out to me outside of work just to even talk. I mean, last weekend I had someone reach out to me. They were struggling with something completely non-work related. So it fires me up. I feel good about it. I'm excited about this year, being in the new role, being more of a face of the company, meeting people, selling, creating, designing, and then just being able to have more of a helicopter approach with you as far as learning the company as a whole and what it really takes to run it. I mean, a lot of things, you just yesterday, hey, did you remember that loader? Totally dropped the ball. Thanks, honestly. Mm-hmm. And accountability for a long time, and I've grown a lot in this area. I take the utmost pride in everything that I do. My name's on it. I take a lot of pride in it. So it's easy for me to sometimes get defensive and accept good criticism. And that's a part of growing. I'm human, and it's part of being this growth-minded mindset. It's like, man, I've always had this perfectionist in me, and so now to have to learn that failure is equally as okay. Even though I am a perfectionist, I'm going to fail. I need those failures to become better, to learn how to manage better, how to organize better, how to view things better. So what's new with me this year is, I'm hitting a whole new wave. I'm on the up with the company and what we have, but I'm balancing some failures that I've setting goals, hitting deadlines. So it's exciting for me. I'm learning. I'm failing. I used to get really defensive about failures, but now I'm learning to take them in stride.
You fail forward, man.
Right,
If I don't believe in failure. If you grew from it, learned from it, moved forward, and bettered yourself, then you didn't fail, and that's why I call it failing forward. You know, like I always say, I fuck up all the time, but I don't ever fail because I fail forward. You know, it's like. It's like falling but catching yourself. You know, like you can either fall and you fucking face plant right on the cement and bust your fucking teeth and bust your nose and bust your fucking face all up and have to go to the hospital. Like that's a full dive, right? Or you fall and you put your hands out and you catch yourself and like you still fell, but hey, you caught yourself, you patted it, right? It's not as bad. Right. That's how I feel about like failure that you fail forward with, which means like you did fuck up, something did happen, but hey, I took this experience, I learned from it, I bettered myself, and I'm changing moving forward so this doesn't happen again, you know? And what we did as far as what John's talking about with the hiring, this actually came from coaching from Andy Versella. So shout out to Andy Versella with First Form, but this started with us a couple years ago. And so I've always bred a certain culture within my company, and I am very fucking like, man, I'm just very hands-on, very set with who I am. It's very easy for that culture to spread without it even being talked about if I'm just with employees every single day or in the room every single day, you know? And so that's how I've ran this company 13 years. That's how this company went for the first, let's say 10, you know, or 9. I was around the guys, I was on the guys every day, I was talking with the guys every day, I was checking in on the guys every day, I was, for lack of better words, babysitting every fucking day, you know? And with that, the culture was my culture because what I stood for is so fucking solid and solidified within me, you can't go against it. Like it's either this or nothing, you know? And so, but what had happened is as I've been, you know, as I've hired guys like John to help me run the company, I've been slowly kind of transitioning out of the company and allowing them to step into more of the daily activity roles where like now I don't go down to the shop every single day. I don't see the guys every single day. I make a point to see them at least once a week and have a weekly meeting every single week to make sure everything's going on track. And I talk to John every single day, but I've got other guys like John that are in the position of actually handling those daily activities with employees every single day. And so what happened is, you know, that culture of me being there and being that culture in person that rubbed off on people went away because I was not there anymore. And so what we had to do is we had to breed that culture into, you know, who we are as a company. And this is honestly the way that it should have been done from the beginning. The way that I did it, I wouldn't recommend doing that to anybody because that puts tremendous amount of pressure on you as the company owner. And it's really unsustainable, you know, for long periods of time. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. The better way to do it is to build a culture within your company, which is what we've done the last couple of years. And what I learned through being coached by Andy Versella in First Form is we don't fucking look for people. How do I say this? We don't look for the right talent anymore or the right person anymore. We build our employees, right? So it's like, you know, it's like the fucking Build-A-Bear workshop, you know, like you can spend all day trying to find like this perfect teddy bear for your kid, or you can just go to Build-A-Bear and let them build exactly what they want, you know? And that's how I feel like with employees, like you can spend all day, all year, all month looking for the perfect employee that has this skill set, this skill set, this skill set, this skill set, or you can fucking build an employee that's going to be better than anybody else that you could find. And not only are you investing in them, then you're investing in the company and you're believing in them. And when you invest in somebody and you invest in your company, it invests back in you. And it works out really well because what I base that on now, so I no longer hire off skill set because I'm going to be building your skill set anyways.
Right.
What I hire off of is your morals and values.
Right.
And to me, that's way more important than your skill set. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm going to go out and hire a pool guy that has zero experience with pools to run my actual pool division, right? Like, I may hire a pool guy that has zero experience with pools to start from the bottom and work his way up and learn pools. Absolutely. That has my same morals and values. But I'm not, you know, it doesn't mean I'm going to say, hey, my, you know, pool fucking foreman that's going to install every single pool can be anybody down the road, and, you know, I'll teach them, you know? But what it means is like, I would rather find an employee that shares my same core values as a company, my morals and values, and then build them with the skill set. And what we do is if you need one, have two, never have one. If you need one, have two, never have one. If you need one, have two. So I repeated that multiple times because it's as simple as it is, it can get tricky. Like if you need one, have two. So what that means is in your company, if you need one main pool guy that knows how to do everything, have two, right? So that way you're never tied to your employees as far as like, you know, we respect our employees. We value our employees. We don't want our employees to go anywhere. We obviously appreciate our employees, but hey man, shit happens. What if my main one pool guy, that's the only guy that knows how to do every single install that we do, gets into a car wreck tomorrow and dies, God forbid. Like, I hope to fucking God that never happens. But what if it does? Then you're fucked. You know, then you're tied to what? You know, you're at that point as a business owner, you're held down by your employees, right? Yep. So, but if I can hire a guy that has great morals and values, great work ethic, and I can pair him up with my main pool guy and say, okay, you're going to go work with this guy all summer long. By the end of that summer, as long as he has good morals and values, you know, adheres to the same morals and values of the company, has a great work ethic, by the end of the year, he's going to have those same fucking skills that main pool guy had. Now, instead of one main pool guy, I got two, right? And I can build off that and build off that and build off that. You know, then I take two new guys and I pair them up with those two. Then after another season, now I got four main guys, you know? And so I'm not looking for the guy with the highest skill set. I'm looking for the guy with the correct morals and values, the correct attitude, the correct work ethic. And then we build them up with the skills that we want them to have. And another reason that this works way better is for me and my personal experience of a business owner is like, a lot of times when you find these guys that, a lot of times when you're hiring off skill, which is what we did for years, and you find these guys that are really good at their skill, they feel like they're the best in the world. And a lot of times they have a big fucking chip on their shoulder and they want to do shit their way, you know? And it's like, listen, man, I'm not opposed to new ways. I'm not opposed to new avenues. I'm not opposed to learning new things as a company, but there's also certain things that we've done for 13 years to get us where we are. Right. That are staying, that we do that. This is who we are as a company and this is what we do. And a lot of times when you find guys that are, you know, the best in the industry, they don't want to adhere to the way you do things. They just want to do things their way. And it can become very complicated and very messy. And when you can take a guy and build him and create him the way you want him, then he's doing it exactly the way you want it done.
This will be a good segue for you into what the topic will be. Everything, just to put it in the first perspective view of me, actually, and everything that you're talking about. So I used to definitely operate out of a place of fear as far as managing and running. And it took a while to understand why I was operating in that state of fear. But it's like you said, when I came in, I worked alongside of you and learned everything that you could show me your way, how you want it done, how the company is ran. And I took all of that and I knew it all. And then I was put in the position to go down to the shop and run all that. And what that does is, like you said, everything's solely relied back on one guy. I had 6-7 employees, but everything always came back to me. I'd always get in the phone calls, can't get this done, they can't get that done. So it would be me at the end of the day of doing everything else that I was responsible for, coming back and basically finishing the jobs that these guys couldn't get done. So it puts all the responsibility which is on you, which is great. But then from a standpoint of hiring and firing, I'm like, well, I can't afford to lose anybody because I'm already doing everything on my own. Even though I have all these guys, at least he can go and do this. So I would keep guys around because they would be beneficial in one little area, which eliminated that little bit of stress or pressure from me. But as an overall, it was a cancer. And things would spread, and then one employee became 2 bad employees. So it had the exact opposite effect of, in my mind, man, I'm in fear because I know if I lose this guy, it's just one more thing to add to my plate, and I can't take on anything else. I'm so, overwhelmed with everything there already was. Again, running multiple crews, lawn, snow, landscaping, and so operating from that place of fear just created cancerous divide. There was no union, there was poor communication, everything was not jiving, connecting. I mean, when you're in sync with your crews and when you're with your guys. So then we had this meeting and this talk of, hey, we're not hiring on skill anymore because we know the skills. We can teach someone that comes in the door. We're going to hire based on character. I need to find guys that have the same character as we do, meaning like, hey, if I were to
same morals and values.
Same morals and values. I can't teach you to have pride in your work. That's something at this day and age, if you don't have it, I can't teach that to you. Or at least it's not maybe a young guy coming out of high school or something. Yeah, training and building him up, teaching him the work ethic. But hiring a guy who takes pride in his work, shows up on time every day because he feels he has that sense of obligation, truly feels remorse or guilty when he drops the ball because he knows he's committed to a team and that his actions directly affect not just him in his position, but the entire company as a whole. So starting, to hire guys like that has eliminated so much more of my fear. And of course, as a company, we do things, and I'm a huge component of making sure we have the right things in place to have good, skilled employees at the positions that we need. Not everybody has to be a skilled employee because, like you said, pair a guy with one who is skilled and then becomes two.
Yep.
And then two becomes four.
The biggest thing, and like, obviously we value our employees. We want employees to stick around, and we do have employees to stick around. But at the same point in time, you never, as a company, you never want to be held hostage by your employees. And if you only have one guy with this fucking special skill set, and it's a hard skill set to find or hire, then you're kind of held hostage and captive by that one guy. An example would be like, hey, we do have company morals and values. Maybe this guy fucking is your only guy that knows how to do this one certain thing in your entire company, and he gets a piss poor attitude one day and freaks out on you and cusses you out as the owner of the company. Now that shit, we've had some pretty heated debates or arguments or whatever you want to say between top key players in our company, but we have built that relationship to where we are able to, and we can talk things out and work through them and actually become stronger on the backside.
Right.
So that's happened before. So there's something to be said for that. But, say this guy spouts off and really crosses a fucking line and a boundary with you as a business owner, but then yet you're sitting here going, well, fuck, I can't lose him. I don't have anybody else. Like, I got to at least wait until I find somebody else to where I can fire him. That's being held hostage to your own company.
Yep.
And you never want to fucking do that. Right. Ever. It's just a way to protect you, because I don't play that shit. There's special lines, there's special boundaries, there's fucking non-negotiables. And if you cross that shit, you're gone. I don't give a fuck who you are. Don't care. Done. Over with. You guys realize our old podcast manager isn't here anymore. That's because he crossed one of those fucking lines, and that was the last day. That was it. Done. See you later. Bye. Nothing else to be said. And in order to be able to have that, you have to have this shit in place where you're not held hostage by your employees. You've got to have a company set up in a way that you are diversified enough to where if something does happen, or God forbid somebody does get hurt or sick or whatever, you're able to move forward without them. And again, this isn't a way to like fuck your employees, right? I want a happy work environment. I want people to stick around. I want people to be happy. And the main guys that we've had with us for years, so we have that. This is just a backup plan in order to protect yourself as a company. And it would be fucking stupid not to do it. I can guarantee you, if you're a business owner and you're listening to this podcast, there's one point in time in your business where you felt that, where
Right.
you've been held captive or held hostage by an employee, where you're like, fuck, I really want to get rid of this guy. He's not fucking doing what he's supposed to be doing. He has a piss poor attitude or whatever the case may be, but I can't because I don't have anybody else, right? You should never be in that position. If you need one, have two. That's it. To get into the actual topic, fear is the disease. Hustle is the antidote. So that's the topic that we're talking about today. Fear is the disease. Hustle is the antidote. And I really love this fucking topic. And I love that quote or that phrase in general. I think it's just fucking badass. But to get into this, like when we talk about fear as a disease, fear. So this is double faceted for me, right? And I'll get into that. But fear is a disease for me. Fear breeds negativity. And anytime we're breeding negativity inside ourselves, it creates sickness, right? Anytime I was just reading this in As a Man Thinketh last night, which is the book I'm reading right now. If you guys have not read it, definitely get that book. This is probably the best book I've ever read. It's short too, very easy, simple to read, but it's just amazing different ways to think about things that really align and resonate with me. So, but anytime we have negative thoughts, which fear is negativity, fear breeds negative thoughts, which then breeds sickness inside any body. Fear drops down your nervous system. And so fear is a disease within us, not only mentally, but physically as well. And it can breed sickness and negative things within your life. It can also bring our thoughts bring everything into fruition. So whatever we think is what our reality becomes. If you guys haven't figured that out by now, you need to really think about that and take note of it and think of what are my thoughts? What are my thought patterns every single fucking day? Right. And how are these thought patterns right now shaping my reality? Right. Because they are. As you see is what you'll get. Right. So if all my thoughts are every day is negative thoughts, I guarantee you my reality is a pretty fucking gloomy, dark, negative reality. Right. If I have positive thoughts and I'm able to see the bright side of things, even when I fail, I'm able to take that, learn from it, grow, and see the positive in it, then I probably got a pretty fucking positive outlook on life and future. Right. Which brings good quality of life. Negative outlook on life, bad quality of life. Positive outlook on life, good quality of life. Right. But whenever I'm stuck in fear, that's where I go. Now, fear is also a good thing. So fear can be, we're supposed to have fear, right? Like we were created to have fear.
Right.
We have fear for a reason. And the main reasons that we were created to have fear, most of them are not relevant to our daily lives anymore. So back in the day, in the hunter-gatherer days, fear was created to keep you alive, right? Like fear was installed within us to keep us fucking alive. Like, oh shit, who's trying to eat me? Who's trying to kill me? Who's trying to bonk me on the head? Who's trying to take my food? You know,
Survival.
It's 100% survival, and that was very real back then. You had all kinds of other creatures, things trying to kill you all the fucking time, and fear protected you, right? Today, most people. Now it still happens from time to time, but most people are not truly fearing for their life on a daily basis. And that's what it was back in hunter-gatherer days. Back in hunter-gatherer days, you truly had to fear for your life on a daily basis to stay alive. And it was a healthy thing, right? Today, though, we don't have to fear for our lives. It's within the society that we live in, especially in the United States, that's not really a thing. But we still have those same fear mechanisms and those same fear triggers within our minds and within our bodies. And what happens a lot is we then create fears that aren't even really fucking there, that we shouldn't even be afraid of because they're not life and death. Like fear is there for life and death. Is this going to kill me? Yes. Oh, fuck, I better react. Right. You know, that's what fear's for. Now, in today's society, when we still have those same mechanisms that aren't really as useful now, every once in a while they are. Someone breaks into your house, like, oh shit, I'm scared. I got to protect myself. Like, okay, that happens every once in a while, but not on a daily basis, right? So now it's like we still have these same mechanisms and we're creating fear within ourselves. And it's like, okay, I'm scared about emailing my boss today to let them know that, you know, I got to take a vacation, or I'm scared to put in my 2 weeks because I really want to take my side hustle on full time, you know, and chase my goals and my dreams. I'm fearful to set a boundary with this friend, you know. I'm fearful to end this relationship that I really know is not what I really truly want in my life. You know, like there's so many things that we're fearful of today that hold us back from moving forward. That is not the true reason to fear because they're not life and death situations. Right? Like if I quit that job and I take my passion, my side hustle full time, is that fear? Is that scary? Abso-fucking-lutely. Am I going to die if I do that, whether it works out or it doesn't? No, I'm not. You know, like it's not the same thing. So another facet to it real quick, John, another facet to it is like, for me, the way that I choose to look at fear, and this is a perspective thing, okay? But the way that I choose to look at fear, because I can't really control my fears. My fears come up if I'm scared about something. I'm scared about something, and I think it's the way that we're wired, right? Our bodies go from, okay, this fear to stay alive was this back in the day, but now it's like that same thing is still in our body, and now it's like, what can I be afraid of now? What can I be afraid of today? Right. And it's set up to protect us, but a lot of times it can hold us back. The way that I choose, and again, a perspective, the way that I choose to look at fear today is to run directly at it. Instead of run away from it, instead of hide from it, is run directly at it. And these are the fears, I call them like irrational fears, or fears that are not fucking life or death. Right. Every single day, there's a lot of guys that say like, I've got my winner circle, so I do 5 things every single day that propel me forward towards my goals, no matter what. A lot of people say that they'll do the ones that they're fearful of first. And I've heard a lot of like celebrities and a lot of rich motherfuckers say that. And there's a reason for it, right? Because the one that we're scared of is probably the most important one. Like that's probably the most important one to get done. And when we actually do those things and we challenge ourselves, and we are able to beat that fear and get those things done, and give a big fuck you to fear right in its face, and then prove to ourselves that, hey, I beat this, I can do this. There's such a rewarding feeling on the other side, and there's so much confidence that comes with that. Just knowing like, man, I'm a bad motherfucker and I'm not held back from anything. Now, this isn't to be said like, hey, I'm fearing for my life in this one situation, so like I'm going to run right at this dude with the fucking gun. Like that's completely different. That's not what I'm talking about. But these situations of like, I'm scared to quit my job. I think that's a great scenario, because a lot of people are in that place. I've got a side hustle that's kind of taken off. I really want to go on this full time, but I'm so scared to quit my job. What happens if I fail? What happens if it doesn't work out? What happens if I can't pay my bills? You know what I mean? And what I've found is when I God, there's so much shit that can go into this. When I bet on myself and when I choose to face that fear, it almost always works out in my favor. Actually, I really honestly right now, I can't think of a time that it didn't. I can't. And so on the other side of this, the flip coin to this hustle is the antidote, is that's exactly what I'm talking about right now. When we can face that fear, challenge ourselves, challenge that fear, push through, hustle anyways, persevere, move forward, we're fucking unstoppable. We're unstoppable. I made a post yesterday about limited mindset, and this will probably be a full topic in the near future, because it's so fucking insane how many people are limited. Mm-hmm. But this all ties together, right? If I'm scared, that's a limiting thought. I'm limiting myself. If I'm in fear, I'm limiting myself. If I'm allowing that fear to control me, meaning I'm not doing the things I'm scared of, or I'm not conquering that fear or overcoming it, then I'm limiting myself. I'm not living to my full potential and my full capacity as a human being, and I'm not fulfilling my destiny of what I was put here to do and be. And that's a horrible fucking feeling. Not only am I in fear, but I'm in anxiety, I'm in depression. Like, when you're not fulfilling your destiny and you're not doing the things that you're supposed to be doing with your life, because I've been there, it feels like you die a little bit inside every single fucking day. It'll eat away at you. It fucking sucks. But when you can push forward and challenge yourself and hustle the fuck out of it and persevere and come out a better man, a stronger man on the other side, that's proved not only to other people, because it really doesn't fucking matter what anybody else thinks, but the main thing is like prove to yourself that this is who I am. I'm not going to be held back by anything. I am unlimited. I'm not limited. I'm fucking unlimited, and I can do anything. Right. And then this makes me harder. This makes me stronger. Right. When I face that fear and I laugh at it and I say, fuck you, I'm doing it no matter what, because this is what I want to do. And I move forward and I grow and I become stronger and I persevere and I fucking win on the other side. I feel unstoppable.
It's empowering for sure. Very, very empowering. Fear is a disease of the mind. It's all something that we're out of the instinctual age where we have that instinctual fear because there's a jaguar that's going to kill us, or a grizzly bear or something crazy in the wild. We don't have that anymore. But we've also talked about how after years of doing something the same way, your body becomes programmed. So instinctually, we're programmed to have this automatic fear response to anything that is outside of our comfort zone. And we're all electrons firing and wiring in our brain. Least path of resistance is what we were always programmed to do. Do the easiest thing, the safest thing. So if fear is the disease of the mind, then a hustler's mindset is the antidote. The actual mindset, or having that in your mind. And I'll just read it. I looked up, what is a hustler mentality? It's the commitment to get ahead no matter what and never give up when faced with insurmountable challenges. That's the mindset that is the mindset that you have to, okay, I fell on my face. I'm going to get back up and keep going. Next time I stumble, I'll put my hands out. I won't bust my teeth up.
Right.
I'll probably fall again. Okay, next time I fall, not only am I going to put my hands up, but I'm going to look for the crack in the road this time. I'm not going to even hit that crack. I'm going to skip that crack. Having that relentless mindset of moving forward, continuing to get better, not being perfect, getting perfect. And again, I'm a perfectionist, so this is my biggest struggle, getting the perfect idea out of my head. There's no perfect idea. The perfect idea is working the process, just starting it and doing it and figuring it out as you go along through that process. Train your brain to stop the fear response. And you kind of talked about that. And we've talked about being mindful and meditation. Practice mindfulness. Think about your emotions. Don't just feel angry. Think about why you're mad. What made you upset? Think about why you're afraid. Think about what caused the fear. And then ask yourself, real as fuck, should I really be scared that this new opportunity could fail when, if it doesn't fail, the rewards are greater? This one little fear, that's the limiting aspect of it. So again, having that in your mind and practicing, okay, why am I really afraid right now? What are the pros, the cons? And then getting to a point where every time you kind of feel the fear coming on, you have that pre-checklist. Okay, here's my fear. Do I really need to be afraid of this? Am I going to die from this? Am I going to get hurt from this? Am I going to bust up my knee? Who cares? I tell my son, anytime he gets a busted knee, I'm like, it's all good, bro. We've had hundreds by now.
What I've told my son, so he loves to ride dirt bikes, and I got a track out at my house, and we have a cabin where it's all just dirt bike riding and four-wheeling. What I've told him from a fucking child is, I make him wear all his gear. Right. So I'm like, hey, dude, you got all your gear on. So you might break a leg, but you're not going to die. Right. That's what I've said the entire time. Hey, man, you might break a leg, you might break a bone, but you're not going to die. Don't be fucking scared. Make that jump. Take that jump. Right. Soar, bro. You're not going to fucking die. You might break a leg, but you're not going to die. And, of course, I don't want him to break a fucking leg. But if he does, that's part of it.
Here's reality. When you're in fear, you're going to get hurt. And I watch this with my son. He's 4 years old. He's trying to jump out of the pickup truck. It's 2 feet off the ground. Yep. He's afraid because his perception is kind of thrown off. He reaches out to grab the door handle on his jump, and he has nothing else bracing him. All of a sudden, his hand grabs the door handle, and he goes sideways and lands sideways on the ground, drops 2 feet. And I'm like, bro, you know why that happened? Well, I was afraid. Yeah, you were afraid, and because you acted out of fear and you grabbed that handle, you messed up. Whereas if you would have just been confident and said, I might scratch my knee. Bro, you've had 100 scraped knees. Who cares? Yeah. Get up and keep going. So now whenever we get home, I'm like, open the door, jump, no hands, bro. And I make it a game with them because build the confidence. Quit living in fear, man. You've had 100 scraped knees. If you jump and you scrape your knee, you're going to get up, walk away, and you're going to have fun.
And I guarantee you he doesn't and goes, yeah.
Every time. Yeah. I high five him now. I'm like, see what happened? And it's cleaner. I'm like, yeah, you jumped and it was a little bit harder of a landing, but you didn't flop over and land on, bust your head up. I'm like, so again, even just noticing it, the little fears, again, it's instinctual, but to even notice it in my son, like, hey man, this is a confidence. It is directly impacting your confidence. And when you act because you're afraid and you're not acting because you're confident, you wipe out, you crash, you hesitate, you wait a split second too long, and that is where the wipeout, the crash, the burn, the injury comes from, not the thought and the feeling itself. It's normal to have that feeling. Embrace it. Have that mindfulness. Am I going to die from this? I might break a leg, but I'm not going to die. Okay, I'm going to try this 20-footer. I'm trying to set a new personal record, right? I'm going to push myself. And then you said it very early on, too, about falling forward, positive thoughts, learning. I have adapted probably the single greatest thing that I've ever done for myself, and I hear a lot of people, and they catch me whenever we're talking or in a bad situation. I'll get very thoughtful, which is quiet for me. And you can tell I'm thinking. And Caitlin last one time, she's like, trying to find the positive right now, aren't you? I said, you better believe it. I said, I don't. So she asked me a question. Hey, does this dress look good on me? You know, or something silly, or not necessarily that, but I'll be like, it looks great. Or, yeah, you know, I'll take a second in a negative situation, and I'll really try to find the one positive. Even though I know the situation's kind of crappy or it's a bad situation, finding that one positive, it just changes the mood, it changes the perception. And again, it's at that point, it truly is falling forward or not even failing. It's just, that's the learning. Finding that one positive out of the situation is where you learn, and it's where you grow, and that's where you move forward. And the more times you do that, it becomes a habit to recognize that just the whole process. Oh, I'm afraid. Renting my house out, I put that sucker on the market 8 months ahead of time. People are like, well, usually they don't do it for 1 to 2 months until it's rented. I don't give a fuck. I'm scared as shit. I need to get someone in there, and it worked out. I got a super great deal. I got good cash flow, and again, I was super scared. I went with it, and it worked out good. So taking the second, being mindful, and again, I could afford the mortgage payment if no one moved in on time.
Yeah.
My fear was oh my God, how am I going to do this and pay the mortgage and rent and all that? And man, I just swallowed it, and it worked out. So for now, my confidence is great. Here's my next move. What do I do? So be mindful that your fear is an instinctive thing created from a long time ago, but you can recognize your emotion or that feeling, and you're not your feelings. We've had this conversation. You're not what your feelings are. That's not who you are. So you can stop, say, oh, I'm afraid, but the more you just continue to act instead of think through that process, that's where it gets more toxic. And you can get into a trap in that rut of being in that fear state to where, it's a lifestyle, honestly. It's the pessimistic victim, poor me mentality of everything goes wrong. Well, if people wonder why things continuously go wrong, because you're stuck on the one thing that went wrong, and now all you think about is a problem, so more problems come your way.
Listen, man, I use fear as my fuel. Like, fear is my fire. Fear is my fuel. And this has got me a long fucking way. And everybody has like a little bitch voice inside their head. Joel Staley used to say it all the time. It's my little bitch voice.
Right.
And I use that with my fear, man. Like, I'll be scared of something. And first of all, I do usually try to do the things I'm scared of every single day first and just get them fucking done with. Because guess what? Even if they suck fucking doing, once I get it done, there's immense relief.
Right.
Immense, like, I just feel so much fucking better, right?
Done and over
so
with.
why hold that with you? Why procrastinate on something and continue to let that fear build? Why not just fucking face it head on, get it done with, win, and feel better? Like, life's all about feeling better. I want to feel good. That's one of the main points of living a happy, fucking healthy life, is feeling good. Like, feeling good, positive thoughts, feeling good ties into not only your mental health, but your physical health as well, like we talked about. But I'll sit there and say, why am I scared of this? Man, that's just my little bitch voice, right? Like, I'm not a little bitch. I'm not going to let my little bitch voice win. Right. And I'll use that as my fuel, right? And I'll be like, man, don't be a fucking bitch. Don't bitch out. Just get this shit done. Like, and another thing that you can ask yourself when you're fucking scared of things is like, am I going to die?
Truthfully,
like,
am I going to die from this?
Really, like a literal question. Am I going to die from this? If the answer is yes, then maybe you have a good reason to be scared, But if the answer is no, then it's really not that big of a fucking deal. You really don't have that big of a reason to be scared. And you got to fucking believe in yourself and move forward and face that fear and become a better human being and fucking win on the other side, man. Like, I get a new hat from Lions Not Sheep from the convention I went to, 2 weekends ago now, 2 or 3 weekends ago now. This says winning is fucking everything. And that's like my new motto, man.
Hell yeah.
Because winning is everything. And dude, I had a guy fucking comment on my, actually it's funny as fuck, because I had a guy comment on one of my Facebook posts. There was a snippet. So it's just like a 30-second snippet of one of the podcasts that we put out. And it's funny because this dude's an older guy, probably got, a good 20 plus years on me. And he's fucking rich as fuck. And he's got way more money than I do. And every time I talk to him, I actually bought one of my Airbnbs from him. And every time I talk to him, he's talking about how, I told myself I was going to slow down. And then I did this, and this, and bought this, and this, and like how he's not slowing down. But he made a comment. He was on vacation when he made the comment. And I'm assuming he was probably wasted because he likes to drink and it was late at night. But he's maybe not. I don't know. I haven't talked to him. But he made this comment and he said, I was on one of the podcast snippets, and he said something to the effect of, just enjoy life, chill out and just enjoy life. It's not all about money. Listen, motherfucker, I know it's not all about money. If you listen to the whole podcast, you would know it's not all about money. It's really easy to comment on a fucking 30-second snippet and make judgments, right? But if you truly listen to a whole podcast, I say in every fucking podcast it's not about money. But you know what it is about for me? Like in every fucking area of my life, it's about fucking winning. You know what winning is to me? Winning is fucking growth. Winning is me growing. Winning is me being the best version of myself every fucking day. And to me, that's fulfilling my fucking destiny. I feel like, so Tony Robbins said the purpose of life is growing and helping people, right? For me, I say the purpose of life is growing, helping people, and being the best father I can fucking be. But one of the main parts of that, the main purposes of my life is growing. If you're not fucking growing, you're dying. You're either growing or you're dying, right? Think of a flower. Either it's fucking growing and getting taller or it's dying. Either it's growing and flourishing and green and blooming or it's fucking dying. If a rose fucking bush stops budding fucking roses, it's fucking dying. It's either growing or it's dying. You're the same fucking way. Either you're fucking growing or you're fucking dying. And to me, winning is fucking growing. If I'm fucking growing every single day and being the best version of myself in every fucking area of my life, not just fucking money, although I love money too, so that's definitely a big part of it, right? I want money too. I want money for me. I want money for my family. I want to be able to travel and do the things that I want to do and live the lifestyle that I want to have, and there's nothing fucking wrong with that.
Right.
But I want to win as a father. I want to win in my own mental toughness, in my own mind space, in my own head space, which is probably the biggest fucking battle everybody faces every single fucking day. I want to win with my physical, which ties into my mental as well, but be healthy as fuck, right? I want to win in my friendships, which means I'm the best friend I can be. I want to win in my fucking relationships, which means I'm the best partner I can be. I'm the best son I can be. I'm the best brother I can be. Right? I want to win in every fucking version of my life. And guess what? Winning fucking feels good. It feels good when I win. Right. It feels good when I face my fears. It feels good when I come out victorious on the other side, no matter how fucking scared I was to do it. And it feels a hell of a lot better than letting that fear win and procrastinating and letting that fear build and not doing anything about it. Winning is everything. So I think that's what I'll leave at. I think this has been a really good podcast, guys.
Just on. So I like how you clarified. It's not about the money. It's more about the reward and the success and the gratification that you get from winning. And I just actually had this conversation last night with Caitlin.
Ask the guys that got all the fucking money. Andy Frisella says it all the fucking time. Listen, man, in our coaching calls, he says it all the time. I could retire right now and not work another day in my fucking life. I've got enough money. He's like, it's not about the fucking money, man. He's like, you get to a point to where you have so much money, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. But you still have to grow. You still have to, so then your purpose changes. And for him, he's like, now it's like, I want my team to make money. He's like, so at first it was me making money. He doesn't have children, right? And so he's like, so now it's my people. I want my people to be rich as fuck.
Right.
You know, he's like, now that's what I wake up for. I'm already rich as fuck. Now I want my team to be, I'm already successful. Now I want my team to be successful, right? It's not about the money. Money's fucking great. I want to have tons of it. Like, I want to have a lot of money. But another thing too to be said is like, dude, I want to have so much fucking money that I can fucking help other people. Like, I can do God's work with it. Not just fucking money for me. Do I want a private jet? Absolutely. But not just money for me to have 10 private jets and fly wherever the fuck I want. I want to be able to fucking I want to be able to use that money to fucking create opportunities in people's lives and help people grow and move forward in their lives. And I'm not talking about giving people shit for free, but I'm talking about changing the fucking world. And you could take money with a purpose and with a division and do that. God says, man, hey, here's your fucking fish, multiply it. He doesn't say go bury it in the ground and keep the one. He doesn't say lose it. He says fucking multiply it. Here's your gift. This is what I've given you. Multiply it.
And keeping it and holding on to it.
That's what we're here for. That's saying here's your fucking life. Here's your natural capabilities. Here's your fucking personality. Here's everything that I've gifted you. Now go grow. Multiply it.
Right.
We don't multiply when we're in fear, right? we multiply and grow when we're fucking out of fear. And God, that shit just really got me fired up. But it really does come down to fear is the disease. Hustle is the antidote. Fear will always create disease in your life, breed disease in your life, unless faced. And hustle is the way to get through that. You face the fear, you hustle through it, you grow, you move forward, you win.
Facts.
All right, guys. This has been the Dads Who Live podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you guys got some value out of that. If you did get a value, if we added any value, sorry. If you got any value out of that, a perspective change, smile, light bulb went off, anything, do us a solid, guys. We're doing this shit for free. It actually costs us a lot of fucking money. Laurel doesn't work for free. Neither does John. So please give us a like, share, 5-star review. You tell a friend, they tell a friend. That's how we grow this thing. Share it on IG, share it on Facebook. We put snippets out every single week. You can even go on like Apple Podcasts, Apple Music, share it there. You share it on Spotify, YouTube, wherever, guys. We really need your support here to grow this thing. You can find us on IG as Dads Who Lift Apparel. You can find us on Facebook, Dads Who Lift Apparel. We have badass apparel on our website. Our Shopify store is www.dadswholifapparel.com. We also have a Facebook group. Again, this is a group on Facebook, 54,000 like-minded dads trying to be their best selves and stay fit at the same time. That group is called Dads Who Lift Official. So if that's something that interests you, check that shit out. Fear is the disease. Hustle is the antidote. Take care, guys.
They told me that like when I get cocky, ain't it funny how they think they can stop me? Try to be me, but I'm so sorry you not me. Try to be me.